Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 10, Episode 14. That's Not Amore. Well, we are still in Rome and we pick up where we left off with Rinna getting really hot and angry with Denise for even suggesting that Brandy said she slept with her, which Denise didn't name any names, by the way. It was Kyle figuring out the math that it could only have been herself or Lisa Rinna. Yeah, whatever. So, like I said, Lisa's like, I don't believe that, Denise. I don't think that Brandy said she slept with me. Okay? So don't even put that out there. Denise in her confession cam is like, Brandy told me that the first time I met her. Now that I actually believe, because I can see Brandy, kind of like gossiping about the housewives, knowing that Denise is now doing the show. You know what I mean? Kind of like Brandy might have been like, okay, let me give you my experience and all that. And it is not beyond Brandy Glanville to be bragging that she slept with someone. So that I believe. Denise also says in her confessional that she's not going to name names because she doesn't know if it's true and she doesn't care. Listen, I know not bringing the receipts makes it seem less true, but I appreciate that Denise is not interested in spreading a rumor that may or may not be true. I mean, listen, she more than anybody probably at that table understands the damage caused by false information being spread. Anyway, Lisa Rinna comes at Denise really hard. I don't know. She seems really angry. And she's just going after her. This feels dirty. And someone's like, what do you mean by that? It's just, it's not clean. It doesn't feel clean. Denise is like, I'm telling you guys the truth, but that's not good enough for you. And then she says to Garcelle, you wonder why I want to leave all the time? Lisa goes, if you're going to sit here, you have to own it. Otherwise, if you want to leave, then leave. Even the other ladies are a little bit taken aback. I don't know how Denise stayed there. I don't. I would have been so gone. No money could be worth that to me. Garcelle now wants to know why everyone is more apt to believe Brandy than Denise. Good question. Kyle's like, it's not that I'm believing Brandy over Denise. Yeah, that is what you're doing. In Teddy's confessional, she said, when someone has repeatedly proven a pattern to me, I'm not going to just continue to hope that it's going to change. Side note, what exactly did Denise do to you anyway, Teddy? I mean, what's the repeated pattern? Anyway, Teddy said to her, I'm in a place where we can be cordial to one another and we can hang out, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to proceed with caution. Sounds like a plan, Teddy. But also, I might point out, you should be proceeding with caution with all of these women. I'm sorry, but Denise Richards is probably the most trustworthy. I think she really does tell you when she has a problem with you. All right, so now they move over to where the couches are because the place is turning into a club now and they have to break up the table or something. So they all go to order drinks and they're sitting around at these like couches. Erica says to Denise, so let me ask you something. Did you really say I was an icy bitch? Denise swears on her mother's grave that she did not say that and that it was actually Brandy saying stuff like that. She tells all the ladies that she has been honest with them and she's tearing up. They're all just sitting there. In her confessional, Denise said, Brandy said something like, Erica's being cold to you, and Denise agreed with that. Okay, now that's believable. If she wasn't caught off guard and, on the defense, I think that's exactly what she should have said. Hey, look, Brandy was starting to give me dirt on each and every one of you, and, she asked if you had been cold to me, and I said, yeah, you had been, because that's how I felt at the time, Erica. It's something like that. I don't know. I think that's kind of normal. I know that Erica has had some conversations about Denise in private, so it wasn't on camera. If she would have admitted that she talked to Brandy and the parts of it that she said, but that Brandy had kind of twisted the whole conversation, I think everybody would have believed that. Now Rinna opens up the floor to anybody else who needs to be honest about anything. Why is it your job to do stuff like that? Anyway, Garcelle took the bait and she said, sure, absolutely. In my opinion, when we took that dance class together, Lisa, I asked you, do you think your body image has affected your daughter in any way? Okay, now everyone's like, ooh. Kyle's confessional, she's like, well, that's what you get, Lisa, for opening up that can of worms. Lisa denies that she has anything at all to do with her daughter's anorexia. Garcelle actually does kind of back off from that. I know this isn't a popular opinion, but as a mother myself, I am very reluctant when women question other women about their parenting, really about a lot of things. We are harder on each other than we need to be or than we should be. I would love a society where women have each other's backs just a little bit more. Anyway, like I said, Garcelle kind of backed off of that, and she did end up saying, I think we're all very good mothers. And she admitted that she is not a mother to daughters either, so that she might be misspeaking and that kind of thing. I don't know. Then Denise said she's going to turn in early, and everyone kind of goes, and yeah, fun. Not that they should get, like, New York wasted, but these women don't seem like they're having any fun at all in Rome. Or really just tiny little spurts of fun intermixed with big, heavy conversations. All right, the next morning, Teddy calls Erica and invites her to have a spa day with her, which she accepts. Rinna calls Kyle to invite her to go riding Vespas with her in the rain. I guess it's raining that day. And Sutton calls Garcelle to invite her to go to the Vatican with her. They want to go to the Mass at St. Peter's. We do get a little flashback to the night before when Dorit and Kyle were like just being real silly with each other and having fun. And I can't for the life of me figure out why Bravo isn't showing us those scenes. Why is it just a little flashback of it? Because they didn't get in an argument with each other? I don't care. I would like to see them having fun with each other. This trip is so depressing and heavy. Anyway, I guess Dorit is going on the Vespas with them. And the two of them, Dorit and Kyle, are out in front waiting on Lisa, but she's not showing up. So they get in the van and head to the place where they're going to get the Vespas, I guess. Now we see Lisa Rinna, and she is talking to Denise. Rinna's confession cam kills me. She said, I texted Denise the night before to check in on her, and I didn't hear back from her, so I think she's mad at me. You think? But I think it's a friendship worth fighting for, because I really like Denise. Then don't attack her, Lisa. What was that the night before? And over something that Brandy Glanville said? I mean, come on. Anyway, Denise said, well, you're coming off as a mean friend. The way you attacked me last night and you're not having my back. Why did you even invite me here, Rinna? Because I love you, Denise. Denise goes, really? It doesn't seem like it. Rinna, here's the problem I had, Denise. What you said that Brandy said about us, that's not cool. Am I in Twilight Zone? I feel like we at home are being gaslighted. Was that not exactly what you did to Denise? You announced what Brandy said about her, and it was the exact same accusation that she slept with you. How does Lisa not see that? And Denise goes, she did say that. Lisa goes, you tit for tatted a little bit there. And you tit for tat with me. You've done it before. Don't do that again. Okay, was that a threat? Jeez. I am stunned by the double standard that Rinna is trying to force Denise to abide by. Now Denise points out to her that she defended her when Kyle came at her at Denise's house. We see a flashback of that, and yes, she did. And Denise, feels like Rinna hasn't had her back, and she said, and here's the thing, Lisa, I have never experienced this with you before, and I've known you for a long time. Rinna's like, I know you're mad at me. I understand. Denise goes, I'm not mad, but I am hurt. I'm very hurt. Now Rinna is choking back the tears. I don't want to hurt you, Denise. And Denise goes, then please stop. Rinna says she's just trying to clear the air, and then she f***ed it all up. I don't know what to do. Denise goes, Lisa, just be you. You're strong and you do stand up for what's right because that's the friend I love. Wow. Denise is being very, very generous with her right now, in my opinion. And then Rinna, she's breaking down. I know she's an actor. I am kind of falling for this right now because she looks a mess. And I do feel like when someone starts to do the ugly cry, especially these women who don't want to not look pretty, then I kind of believe it. And that's sort of what's happening here. She's getting pretty like mucusy. And she said, I should have warned you. I should have texted you, even though you were on a plane. I should have sent a text so that you would have gotten it when you landed. That's why I feel really bad. When she tried to call out Sutton the night before, I knew that there was something lingering with Lisa. Like she was feeling like a crappy friend. And she admits that Denise would have warned her. And Denise said, yeah, I would have. Plus, at the dinner, when everyone was coming at you, I would have said, guys, don't do this. Don't go there. I believe her. So, yeah, I mean, Rinna, like I said, she is either showing off her acting chops or she's having some kind of a genuine breakthrough or breakdown here. She says, I haven't been myself lately. And now Denise actually begins to cry. And Denise said, it's not just you. It's all the other women too. I don't understand why they have me around and then try to destroy my family. Seriously, though, I don't understand that either. I mean, listen, this is Housewives and this show is drama and fighting and all that. But it used to be the women would get tipsy and there'd be cat fighting and name calling and, it was kind of dramatic in a fun way. Now, these fights are to destroy someone's family and the drinking is to a point where the viewer at home has to be concerned for the women. No, Bravo, don't do that. Rein it in, get back to your basics, get back to your season ones, rewatch those, take a look at that, and kind of get back to that. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say this cutthroat fighting where it could really hurt the children and the families and the drinking to excess, it's not super fun. Okay, so now I guess Denise is also going to church with Garcelle and Sutton, and she has invited Lisa to church. Oh my God. If she can go in without catching fire, I guess that remains to be seen. Anyway, Rinna says that she would love to go to church with them, and they hug and they agree to be better friends to one another. Okay, so with the Vespa ladies, Dorit and Kyle, they know that Lisa's not coming now, because at first they were like, oh, is she late? What's going on with her? So now they tell the guy that the third person's not coming. Dorit wants to ride without a helmet, but the man won't let her because there are helmet laws there. And oh my God, he has to put a hairnet on her. And she's like perfectly coiffed in her slick ponytail. And it is a shame to put a hairnet on that. You guys, this is what Dorit would look like if she were a lunch lady. Still very chic. Okay. They are not driving the Vespas. They are riding in the sidecars. They look like a couple of Tom Schwartzes. It's just weird with the helmets and the goggles and they're low to the ground and I don't know. It just looks like little goofy like go-karts or bumper cars or something. We check in briefly with Teddy and Erica, but it's so boring, you guys. They're talking about Thanksgiving when they get home. We're flashing between them and the Vespa ladies and the church ladies. With the Vespas, Dorit in her confessional said, this is the Kyle that I know and love so much. It almost compensates for some of the really shitty things she does. I like that she said almost. In the car on the way to the Vatican with the church ladies, Lisa said, I need this more than anybody. Because I haven't been myself lately. In Sutton's confessional, she goes, is there a bitter side to Lisa? Then Rinna, they're looking out the windows, and Rinna tells them that that's why her house looks the way these houses do in Rome. Because Harry lived here for 3 years and fell in love with it. Sutton goes, and why was he here again? I forget. Did you? Or do you want her to segue into a good story? Because that's what happens. Lisa tells us that he was with Ursula Andress at the time, and they had a child. So she lived there. She was also the first Bond girl. We get to see a picture of her looking gorgeous. And she and Harry were doing Clash of the Titans at the time. And as the story goes, Ursula called him to her room. A young Harry Hamlin was only 28 years old, was, I guess, more than eager to go, and she got pregnant that night. She was 44. We see a picture of their son Dimitri. Oh, he's a very cute boy. I mean, good genes on both sides, but yeah, he's very cute. So there is a 2-hour wait to get into St. Peter's, and so they're not going to do that. Sutton tells us in her confessional, I knew it would be hard to get in. I would have gotten everybody tickets ahead of time, but it wasn't my trip to organize. Okay, now we are at lunch with Kyle and Dorit, and they're talking about how, I wonder what happened to Lisa Rinna. And in walks Rinna. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. And they're like, are you okay? What happened? She goes, I had a little bit of a breakdown. They're like, like very concerned. And she said, I saw Denise in the lobby and I asked her if we could talk because I was pretty tough on her last night. Yeah. And Kyle doesn't like where this is going, you guys. That's what I think. So she said, well, yeah, but I mean, you didn't like the things you were hearing. I mean, that's fine, but she never said it was Lisa. She never said who it was. So why should Lisa have gotten that angry? Nobody else did. And Rinna goes, but I wasn't a good friend. I mean, like I said, I don't think Kyle likes that she's going in this direction. And I think Kyle's trying to rein her back into the dark side. Yeah, but you didn't do anything wrong, Lisa. And she said this, and you're not at fault. You're a good friend. Like stuff like that. Instead of saying, yeah, well, it's good that you two talked it out, and I'm glad you two are friends again, or something like that. Kyle's like, you just wanted to get to the truth. Yeah, but that wasn't Lisa's job. I mean, who made getting to the truth Lisa Rinna's job? I don't understand that part of it. She's not a paid investigator. Her interest should be only to talk to her friend Denise and ask her, did you say some nasty things about me or not? And out of respect to their longtime friendship, it should absolutely have been in private. Okay, next we get a montage of all of the ladies getting ready for the pizza party that night. They're going to a restaurant to have pizza. And it's their last night there. They're taking 2 cars over there. And in the one car, it's Kyle, Dorit, Lisa Rinna, and Sutton. And Dorit is telling them, my room at Buca di Beppo is ready. In Sutton's confessional, she's like, Buddha di Beppo? Buddha di Beppo? Buca di Beppo? I've never heard of it. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I've never heard of that restaurant in my life. Is it like an Olive Garden? We have Buca di Beppo's in the Chicagoland area, so I've heard of it. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've ever heard of them before or if you have them in your hometown. Anyway, Dorit has the idea to have Teddy's baby shower there in the room that she designed, which, way to let Kyle off the hook because Kyle didn't plan anything yet. So they're like talking about that and they're all excited about it. We should keep it a surprise. The other car is Teddy, Denise, and Garcelle in the back, and Erica is like in the front. In Denise's confession cam, she said, I'm just gonna say my piece tonight and at least they'll know how I feel. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm sure that'll go well. So the car with Denise arrives first, and Teddy goes to the bathroom, and Denise is like, where are the others? And Garcelle goes, why do you care? And she goes, I just need to prepare myself. Well, the others arrive, and now we know why Denise needed to prepare herself, because she's got quite the little speech planned. She says, all right, I'd like to do a toast, and then I would like to talk. Dun, dun, dun. Everyone raises their glass and she thanks Lisa for planning this girls' trip. She said, I'm glad we got a chance to talk, Lisa. I really appreciated that. And since you are an advocate of us being our true, authentic selves, I am going to be brutally honest. Okay. There is so much judgment in this group. And night after night, I have been on the receiving end of it and I feel very attacked. You know, my husband didn't want me to go on this trip. Oh, Denise, really? Why bring Aaron into this conversation? Because you think the women are going to receive it better? They don't care what Aaron thinks. I mean, she's now blindsiding these women, which, fair enough, they deserve. But to Lisa's point, it is kind of a tit for tat. Like, she didn't even tell Garcelle she was going to have this big speech. But like I said, that's her right. They did it to her, so she has the right to do it. But do you think it's gonna be effective or resolve anything? Or do you think it's just adversarial and now going to further drive a wedge between you and them? I mean, I guess the answer is she doesn't care. I think she's angry and she doesn't care. She tells them it's the worst trip she's ever been on, which I think is funny because the beginning of the toast was thanking Lisa for arranging this trip. Now she tells them it's the worst trip she has ever been on in her entire life. And she feels like it's like mean girl behavior. And Kyle's like, what did I do? Okay, here we go. Because Kyle, Clean Hands Richards, she didn't bring anything up. She didn't call out Denise. Yeah, it's not Kyle's first rodeo. She knows how to get the job done without doing it herself. Anyway, it doesn't really work because Denise is like, by bringing Brandy into this. As you might imagine, the ladies are quite triggered by the mean girl comment. That's a sore spot for them. In Erica's confessional, she said, listen, if being a mean girl is standing up for what you believe in and saying how you feel without backing down, then I'm a mother mean girl till the day I die. No, Erica. Someone who stands up for themselves and doesn't back down is not what a mean girl is. And it's also not what Denise is accusing you guys of doing. None of you were standing up for yourself when you brought out into the open that Brandy said she slept with Denise. How was that you ladies standing up for yourselves? No, that was mean girl behavior. So, you know, nice soundbite for you, Erica, in your confessional, but it really has nothing to do with the situation at hand. Dorit starts speaking, and then Garcelle just kind of abruptly gets up from the table, and she goes, I'm sorry, I want to hear what you're saying, but I'll be back. And then Denise said, actually, I'm going to go too. I said everything I'm going to say, and I'm done. And she gets up and leaves, which I wish she wouldn't have done. But she sees Garcelle outside, and Garcelle is upset and crying, and she's asking her what's wrong, and she said, I miss my kids, and she's anxious to get home. Inside, the ladies are talking about how it's unfair of Denise to say her piece and then not give them a chance to respond. That's true. I don't know that Denise has to play fair right now, but it is true. That isn't fair. So Denise says, I'm going back to the hotel, and Garcelle said, okay, and I'm going to go back to the table. Now we are breaking the fourth wall again, which, side note, is this Bravo's new thing now? Because, now the producer has actual lines. Denise is talking to him, and she's like, I need a car to take me back to the hotel. And he gets his own little chyron. We see Chris, producer, and he tells Denise, I think going back is a huge mistake. You can't make a big speech like that, Denise, and then be unwilling to hear anyone's opinion. And believe it or not, he talks her into going back in. She's like, all right, fine. I think she even says something in her confessional like, I do have fun with these ladies, and okay. So she goes back in. They're, of course, in the middle of a conversation, and Erica sees her and goes, thank you for coming back, Denise. And Dorit says the same thing. Denise, thank you for coming back. Kyle's like, let's have fun. We do have fun with each other. And Denise said, I know, I have fun with you girls. Rinna goes, let's just like agree. I think it was the mean girl comment. Let's just agree to not call each other names. And Denise said, I didn't call you mean girls. I said it feels like that, which she did, but you know, it's basically the same thing. So the pizzas are delivered and, you know, they're eating and laughing and drinking and talking and attempting to have fun at least. Rinna suggests the game from the first night. What's the most trouble you got into as a teenager? And Denise tells them that she and her boyfriend snuck down to Tijuana because the drinking age was 18, although I think she was only 15 or 16 or something, but whatever. So she got in trouble for that. Then Garcelle wants to change it to, where's the wildest place you've had sex? And Erica goes, the hospital. And Teddy goes, that was going to be mine. Ew. I don't know. I'm just thinking like sickness and I don't know. But Erica's story, or the way she told the story, I don't know, it was so bizarre. She's like, I had a massive head injury when I was 16, and my boyfriend's father was the head of cardiology at the hospital. And he would just sit there in my room. And I thought, why is he here? I was just lying there in the dark. And anyway, we had sex. Everyone's like, what? And she goes, not with the dad, my boyfriend and I. Although the father was hot, and he's my age group, as you know. Okay, why would you tell the story like that? We've got this man who's the head of cardiology, weird enough that he would sit in your room while you were sleeping, but then you just say, one night I was lying there and we had sex. I mean, she knew that everyone was going to think it was with the dad, right? Kyle's was something stupid. They were at a table for 10 at a black tie event. Garcelle's was on a commercial flight. Sutton's story falls a little flat because she goes, well, I wish you wanted to know what was the most romantic place because it was pretty romantic. We were in France and it was outside in a sleeping bag. It's kind of like crickets. She goes, I mean, like without a tent. Nothing. Silence. You know, at a campground. Nobody cared. Nobody thought that was wild. Nobody cared. And also the campground part doesn't make it more wild. Rinna's, it was her and her boyfriend and her best friend and her boyfriend. And we were having sex next to each other in the back of a station wagon. Ew. She did say it wasn't her proudest moment. Denise's was in a church parking lot. Everyone seems shocked at that. And Kyle goes, no wonder you couldn't get into the Vatican today. And there's just big belly laughs all around. In Rinna's confessional, she goes, now that's the Denise that I know and love. This proves that after everything that's gone down, we can still have fun. And we forgive. Denise goes, Rinna, this trip is ending well, so thank you. And then Garcelle, they all give a toast at the end, and that's where this episode ends. So we should be back in Beverly Hills next week. It's going to be, what's next week? Episode 15? I'm not sure how long this season is going to be. If it's going to be Teddy's shower next week, then maybe it's going to be the finale. I don't know. I never know how long these seasons go. I know they shot the reunion already, because they did their reunion remotely. And I think New York already filmed theirs too. And theirs was in the studio with masks. So that should be interesting too. But I don't know how long the seasons are going to go. So I don't know. But in any case, I will be right back here next week to recap it all. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to wash your hands often and wear a mask when you are outside. I love you guys, and I will see you next week for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Bye.